Can you spot the difference? In today's 5 minutes or less, I'm going to teach you how to blend kicks and 808s perfectly. So we got a kick right here, and we got an 808. You know, nothing fancy, something basic. So I got a little beat here that I made to keep the rhythm. So we're going to focus on the kick right now. And I got 3 simple plugins, all stock. EQ, compressor, and a limiter. For the compressor, I use the warmer preset. It gives it a warmer tone, and it's a nice little starting point. Now you could adjust the knobs how you need. I usually stick to the mid and the low for 808s. Just remember, don't overdo it, because we still have to EQ it. EQing kicks is pretty simple. I usually start out by cutting out a lot of the highs, depending on your kick drum, of course. Now we want more thud, so I'm going to raise it up at the low mid, and then lower the bass and the sub a little bit, because it's just a kick drum. The 808s will take care of that part. But of course, if you want more bass, go for it. So for the limiter, I just slap it on. I don't use any presets or anything, just to keep it from peaking. And on the mixer, I put the kick at 3 dB, just to give it a little bit of headroom for the rest of the beat. As you can tell, 6 dB for the kick drum is just not as prominent. So we're going to take it up to 3. Alright, now we're going to move on to the 808. I use the same 3 stock plugins, EQ, compressor, and a limiter. And it's the same process as the kick drum. I use the warmer preset. And just like when we use the compressor with the kick, you could adjust the knobs how you want, depending on the 808. Alright, now we're going to head over to the EQ. And from here we could have some fun since it's the 808. You can make it like more punchy, more distorted, whatever you want. I love low 808s, so I'm going to stick to like the more sub kind of 808. But I'll give it a lot of punch. And the same thing with the limiter, I just slap it on, no preset or anything, just to keep it at level. And from here, you could kind of just make your own sound at this point. Use the compressor, use the EQ, mix it together, and you got a whole unique sound. I'm focusing on more on the sub 808, but I still want enough kick and enough punch. So I got to give it plenty of mids. So we're just going to mix the 808 just a little bit, get a nice sound going. For 808s, I keep it at about like 6 dB. It gives it enough headroom for the kick and the rest of the beat. So far so good. We got almost less than a minute left, and I think we got one more thing to do because it's still a little muddy. But this trick really solves it all. You could do this with either kicks or 808s. But what you're switching on is basically it flips the sound wave, so it makes it more of an up sound or a down sound depending on what you're trying to blend. We are getting a little into some sound design here, but it's not too complex. If you ever pay attention to an 808 sample, you could always tell one goes up and one kind of goes down. You just gotta have an ear for it. But as you can tell, it sounds a lot better. So I made a little beat here just to give an example of what it sounds like all together. I didn't really put much thought in it. I just threw some samples with the same tempo, and it kind of blended, I guess. But we're mainly looking at the kick and the 808. You want it to sound even, like it belongs together, like a puzzle piece. But you could also have fun with sound design in it. That's what's cool about it. Well, that wraps it about up. It's really that simple. Light mixing, a couple things here and there, and just a flip of a switch. Well, hopefully this video helped in any kind of way. Because I know big studios are kind of like intimidating. You got all these wires, these equipment, these screens, whatever. In the end, I try to make it simple and easy to digest. We all know mixing and mastering could be a major headache because there's just so much to do and so much to mess up on, but it could be easy, especially when you have fun with sound design. What's not to love? I hope this video helped in some way. Like and subscribe, and I'll keep on making more. Well, I guess I'll see you later.